Howdy everyone, let's talk about the Breitling Superocean, which in this video I'm going to unbox and give you my thoughts about. And today I'm wearing my Rolex Deep Sea James Cameron, which I find to be really quite good. And if you're interested in picking up a watch yourself, I'll link to my watch sales site in the description below. And if you're interested in investing to be able to get a watch, well, I'll also link to my fund in the description below. But with that out of the way, let's have a look at what you get in the box and what the watch is actually like. So here we've got the box, which you can see is this rather premium thick cardboard type material. And it also has these tacks down the side to make it look additionally authentic, tough and rugged, but a little bit old school like in appearance. When we open this up, well, what do we get? We get, well, this nice leather travel pouch, which is really quite pleasant and is good for carrying around the watch if you're, say, on a plane or traveling around. Also in the box, at the very bottom, in this small compartment, what we've got, well, I have some additional links for the watch. I have the hang tag, and I have the instruction manual and the warranty card. So this is what it looks like. The warranty card is right here, and it looks, well, like a warranty card normally would, but this one's actually quite thick. You can kind of see in the video that it's rather thick around here. It's very, very solid. Breitling warranty cards are much better than the average, at least in my opinion. The hang tag is, well, what the hang tag would normally be, and the instruction manuals are, well, thick, and probably no one will ever look at it. But we've got this attestation de chronometer. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. But in any case, we've got our certificate, which is all very nice. I feel like I'm getting a participation reward. But anyway, I've got our certificate, and then we've got our booklets. And we've got a few of these. The booklets don't really, well, honestly, no one's going to look at it for a Breitling Superocean. We've got another booklet, which is rather hefty, multiple languages in these, so, I mean, there's not that actual much material in there. And then if we look at the case. Now, the case is a nice brown leather material. These always feel kind of premium. I like the cases. It has this little push button clasp here, or, well, not really a push button, rather. It kind of goes through the loop. It's very pleasant looking. It's a nice case. It feels like it has decent weight. If we open it up, we have our watch. So let's have a look at what the watch is actually like. Well, the watch is relatively hefty. It comes in at 44 millimeters in diameter. It's about 200 grams in weight, which brings it a little bit lighter than my Deep Sea James Cameron, but more heavy than my old Rolex Submariner reference 5513. So it's on the heavier side, but nothing particularly unusual these days. It feels, in my opinion, like it is a good size. I like how it feels on the wrist. Now, in terms of the case and the like, well, it's a brushed stainless steel case. It has a black bezel that's a rotating bezel, which is, again, relatively standard. I don't mind the dial. It's a little bit on the busy side, but I think it works together. Whenever I'm looking at these dials, I often think of it in terms of, I guess, what I'd call textural integrity, to use more of a linguistic term. That is, how does everything fit together on the dial as one cohesive text or one cohesive piece of material? And I think it works well. I think the busyness creates some interest without it being too cluttered. And in some other Breitlings, I find them too cluttered. Nevertheless, that is a matter of personal opinion. The thing I dislike about the dial, and the thing that would give me pause about buying another one, although, to be fair, I actually have one on order to now sell, but anyway, the thing that would give me pause about them is the dial, at least on this model, looks a little bit flat. It looks a little bit, and I know it is not a cardboard dial, of course, but it looks a little bit cardboardy and not particularly exciting when you look at the actual material and the sheen, or lack thereof, coming off the dial. Still, I think it otherwise looks okay as long as you're not looking too closely. It obviously has lume on it, which makes it relatively usable. Now, elsewhere on the dial, of course, it has a date window. Again, I basically never set the date on my watches, but it is nice to have. And, I mean, otherwise, it's aesthetically reasonably nice. It's quite a thick watch, and on the back it has a closed case back, which has the Breitling logo on it and some other words, although nothing particularly unusual about the closed case back, other than that it doesn't feel uncomfortable on the wrist, so it's quite nice to wear. If we look around at the bracelet, well, again, it is stainless steel. The bracelet has pluses and minuses. Now, it's not immediately obvious in a video. However, you'll notice in the bracelet, it's a little bit trapezoidal rather than square or oblong. You can see this in the links, i.e. everything kind of puts together at a bit of an angle. Now, that is fine as far as it goes, although it is a little bit difficult to photograph sometimes without it looking like it's off angle. One of the tricky things, however, is putting links in or removing links. You need to remove several end pieces, and it is just a bit of a pain to try to resize it. Again, nothing particularly unusual, but it is honestly a little bit annoying to resize this watch. The clasp on the bracelet, again, is nice enough. It feels solid. It has Breitling emblazoned on it, both the logo and also the word Breitling. Again, nice enough. Of course, it could be a bit of a scratch magnet if you're wearing it on hard surfaces, but again, that is relatively usual. In terms of the actual sizing for the watch, well, on my wrist is not especially large. I think it works fine. I tend to wear watches a little bit oversized, so I mean, it's up to your mind as to whether or not it would work on your wrist. It's really a matter of personal preference. Now, the movement in this appears to be the Breitling Caliber 17, which, according to Watchbase, is based on the ETA 2824-2. It reportedly has a power reserve of 38 hours and a frequency of 28,800 beats per minute. Again, a relatively workhorse movement based on the ETA 2824, which is relatively frequently used. It would be nice if it were entirely in-house, but again, many of these watch brands these days aren't entirely in-house. And at the price that you're picking these up for, you can't be that picky on this, I guess. Now, it reportedly has water resistance up to 1,000 meters. I am not going to test this, and indeed, I don't believe I've ever actually put this under more than just normal tap washing water, but still, it is nice to have. I do appreciate the technical prowess in some of these things, even if I've never actually going to use it. Now, other things is that, like I said, it's an automatic movement, although that goes without saying. I'm sure you've picked that up already from it being the Breitling Caliber 17, and the thickness is 14 millimeters reportedly. The bezel itself, which I forgot to mention, is unidirectional, and it has a screw-down crown, which is what you would expect from a watch that purports to have decent water resistance. So those are pretty much the technical specs and the aesthetics of the watch. What do I think about it? Well, as you can gather, I don't dislike the watch, but it certainly is not my favorite watch. Personally, I'd probably save up and buy a different watch, or alternatively buy this watch used, knowing that it probably will hold its value reasonably well if you buy it at a sensible price, and you probably won't lose much money on it. So it's not a bad choice as a holder value while you wait for a watch that perhaps is, in my opinion, a little bit nicer, but again, I don't dislike it, and it certainly is not a bad watch to own. But you can let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts about what you think are good alternatives, and otherwise I'll link in the description below to where you might pick up one of these. And thanks so much for tuning in, and hopefully I see you next time as well.